Hey, welcome back. This is another continuation of a boat that I started a while back. She's a bit of a project, kind of a drama queen. So am I. Enjoy. Welcome back, Tubal Views. It's a beautiful Saturday, not a gust of wind at all. It's about 80 degrees. It's kind of cool, kind of nice. I've got the starboard side of this boat left to do, both the top side and the hull. So what I've started with is taking my forced rotation and some Super Duty, attacking the registration numbers that I pulled off. Um, there was a couple little scratches in there that were much bigger than they are now. This was just a test spot right up there. And here was another scratch, probably about, well, you can see a little bit of it. There's some of it still there. I wasn't able to get all of it out, but the emblems where those are off now. And this heinous water line, which if you recall was basically as white as the stuff above it. Maybe not that drastic. It was as white as what's under here in the outdrive cove. I take the Super Duty and a forced rotation buffer. Sorry for the clanking and banging of my tripod. The reason that you don't see me use this tool very often is for two reasons. One, you have to push really hard. In doing that, you create a lot of friction, and that friction destroys a fairly expensive pad. These things last for less than an hour, and I'm out of them. So this is probably one of the first and last times that you'll see it. But bless me. All right. Yeah. All right, now this might be touching on an old lesson that I've talked about before, but if you're new to the channel, if you're new to this boat stuff, let me just educate you a little bit on something that I like to think about. So let's see. This boat I already know is going to take a little grinding, a little pushing. It's a hot day, so I'm going to be fatigued by the time I'm done. It's better for me personally to start on the bow because it rakes in and it's kind of at an angle. And because I've just started, I'm physically fit. I'm ready to go. And I can get down here and do the stuff that I need to do. And then by the time I start getting fatigued from bending down, well, I'll just be right about here. And here I can just stand up. And it's a lot more comfortable for me to maintain the motivation to keep going. Whereas if I started back here and I get all the way through here and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta bend down again? Come on. I hate this. So I just get it out of the way quick. Anyway, it's not a lesson, but if you're doing boats all day and you get a new one every day, start in the front, work your way to the back, and it seems to make your back thank you a little bit at the end of the day. All right, that being said, what I'm going to do is set you up right about, you're not going to see too much craziness. I'll zoom in a little bit just so you can see kind of what I am touching and how I'm touching it. All right, that's about all you're going to get. I'll work on the white in the bottom when you're not looking because I don't want anyone seeing me crawl on the ground. It betrays my manlyhood and everything that I say that I'm not going to do for a boat. I already did it on the other side. You didn't see that either. So let's see. I'm going to grab some buffing stuff like a buffer and probably put a wool pad on it. And I'm going to grab some maybe heavy cut on the front until I get to maybe this vent. And I'll see what the surface looks like right in this area. If that looks like it's doing okay, then from here over, I'll just use heavy cut. From here over, I'll just use heavy cut, and then from here back, probably using a little Super Duty first just to break through the surface, get the rough stuff off, and then I will switch to heavy cut for the rest of that, and then follow that with Perfected EXAC. It's all the same stuff, guys. Nothing changes. Every boat's the same. I mean, they're all different, don't get me wrong, and I do different things with each one, but the process is the same. It's, grind on it, keep grinding on it, clean it, wax it, move on to the next boat. Anyway, let's talk more doing stuff. 1 second. All right, first things first, I have a clean side over here and a dirty side over here. So I'm gonna grab my little spur tool and we're just gonna clean this out. Hey, look at that. She's clean again. All right, I'm gonna grab some heavy cut and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got 3 little stripes, thin stripes of heavy cut. There's not a lot of area up here. First things are always first. Let's start out with spreading. So we'll spread this out and cover everything in our area. Make sure your speed is all the way down. All right, now once everything's spread out, pick a spot, usually an edge, and then go. So I'm gonna start on my big edge first. I'm seeing something that I'll show you in a second. I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna keep going and we'll get into this. All right, let's take a look at this weirdness down here. So I know that this isn't a water line that I'm looking at, but you see there's a line in the green? I don't know what that's from. I don't recognize that as something that I've seen before, but I'm gonna come back into it with a little bit more heavy cut and we'll see what we can do. It's just really strange. See, I'm not an expert. Every now and then, even I get like, wait, what's that? You guys think that I have all the answers. I don't. I'm just a detailer that tries stuff until I get it right. And that's what you have to do. I don't know what your boat's like. I don't know if it's got some weird goofiness in the Gelcoat like that. So when you send me a message like, hey, I've got a 1985 blankety blank, what do I use? I don't know. What's it look like? How does it react to stuff you've tried? What have you tried? I never know. Which is why I haven't categorized any of my videos, because if you watch any 10 of them, you've seen all 300. That's basically how it goes, at least in my head. Anyway, let's get into this. So I got a little heavy cut. I'm gonna put it right on that little green stripe, spread it out. Give it a second. I don't know why, I'm just feeling like I need to give it a second. Interesting. All right, here we go. Edges first. Okay, well that fixed it. And now logic would dictate that we're just gonna kind of move on over. So I'll tell you what, I'll bring you with me. That way you can see all the glory and jubilees that I'm experiencing while working on somebody else's toy, getting paid next to nothing. I'm kidding, I get paid plenty. By the way, if you ask me what I get paid to do a boat, I won't tell you. My market is specifically my market, and my rates are specifically my rates. If you're a detailer and you're doing this for money, you can charge whatever you're worth. But it all depends on what you're worth. And not everybody's going to see the value in you. So on a boat that you get and somebody is willing to pay you like $500 to do something like this, you're going to lose money. But I assure you, as a boat detailer, doing a boat like this in a town like this where there's only like 6,000 people that live here, this guy's going to talk. And his neighbors are going to come to you. And they're going to talk. And that's it. You're done. You don't have to advertise. You don't have to jump through any hoops. You just wait for people who know that your value is in your work, and then they just come to you. I don't generally have discussions with people about how much things are. They just kind of say, send me the bill when you're done. I try to be fair. I try to think about myself and them and my relationship with them. And if I can't charge them as much as I want to for the work that it's going to take, it's okay. This all plays out in the long game, that everyone knows that if you need your boat dialed in, you go to, that person. So, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot for no good reason. Let's get back into this stupid boat. Now the pad has a little bit of compound in it because I just used it, so I don't need quite as much. Starting here, moving over, and if I get in here and I see that the heavy cut's not giving me the results I want, and it doesn't look like this, then I'll switch to the Super Duty. Spreading in edges, here we go. Now some cross-cutting in the middle. All right, now to give you some sense of why I'm not using the heavy cut and grinding and grinding and grinding until it's completely gone is because I know, and you should know by now, I'll be adding to the mix some Perfected EXAC after the heavy cut. So if there's any weird whip marks or swirl marks or holograms in there, the Perfected EXAC will generally take all of that out and leave you with a much better reflection overall than what you could get with heavy cut. That's not to say that the heavy cut reflection is bad. In fact, if you want, I'll wipe this off really quick and you can take a look. It's actually pretty nice. And you want to do this if you're doing your own boat. You want to wipe it down every now and then between each compound pass. Sometimes I don't. Again, 20 years of doing this, there's stuff I can see through the compound that maybe most people aren't familiar with. I get kind of lazy at times, and it's cost me. I mean, it's bitten me in the butt once or twice, but it gives you a chance to do things. So I hadn't wiped off this front area after I did it, and I'm seeing something up on the bow that I'm not a huge fan of. So I'll show it to you, and then we'll get into it, and I'll show you this is why we wipe. All right, get on down here. So in the reflection, you can see some smegma on the surface. And it's coming off with the fingernail, or at least it's being moved with a fingernail. So I can probably get that off, but I'm just going to take some more heavy cut and put it right on there. Also, got a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get the camera to focus. It doesn't want to participate. There you go. Anyway, so I'll put a little heavy cut on there, try to get that off, and then I'll move back. I'll put you on pause while I don't know, I won't put you on pause. You can see this. It's not exciting, but it is what happens, so here you go. Right on the pad, and I know already I'll be using a little bit more edge than normal, so I'm going to put the compound right on the edge as opposed to putting it in the middle of the pad where I won't be using it all that much. So just on the outside. Okay. Well, between you and I, that looks great now, so let's move on. Let's see. I also would point out, and I don't know if you can see it, starting about here, and I'll try to draw with my finger. Yeah. There's a weird Gelcoat repair that has done some interesting stuff. It's going to be challenging to make this all match. I don't believe that the colors are exactly the same. I can already tell that the porosity, the amount of bubbles in the Gelcoat is totally different. There's a lot more bubbles in the repair than there is the original. It's nothing I can fix. It's literally one of those things where it is what it is, and I'm just here to make it look the best that I possibly can. In that, I will clean off my pad, try a little bit of heavy cut, although I think, you know what, no, I'm just going to go right into the Super Duty because I already know that that's going to be a challenge. So fighting with heavy cut is just going to waste my time, I believe, and once I have that thought in my head, there's really no going back. So I'm going to clean off my pad, I'm going to grab some Super Duty, I will be right back. All right, well, here we go. Got the Super Duty. I have a clean wool pad. I'm going to put the Super Duty, of which I'm going to kill this bottle. Yeah, she's dying. So I'm just going to load up the pad. Come on. Expensive spurting. Ah, funk it. All right, here we go. Slow spreading edges, crosscut, metals, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what's next? I forget. Oh, that's right, edges. Let's do that. And I admit, from that angle, this probably all looks like arse. But I'm thinking underneath it, it probably looks okay. So I'm going to get the towel out and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, not bad at all. In other words, by not bad, what I mean is it's now ready for heavy cut. And then after the heavy cut, it'll be ready for perfected EXAC. If you work a section of a boat with heavy cut, you can get an outstanding, almost mirror-like finish. If you do that and you want to quit and put wax on it, go ahead. Go ahead. It's not going to break the boat. It's okay. The reason that you see me get a shine like this and then take it the next step is because, as a detailer, my entire reputation is this. Nobody talks to me. Nobody learns who I am. They don't get my politics. This is all they know. If I can make the wax that I put on this thing last an extra year by doing one more step, what they know about me is all right, and I like it. So if you can get to a shine like that, just know that as long as it's glossy and uniform, you're good. You can move on to the next step, which is perfected EXAC. You could also, if you wanted to, keep grinding and grinding with heavy cut until it looks perfect, and then just use a little bit of perfected EXAC to smooth the edges of that, and you'll be golden. Now, I've got a lot of boat to do, so I'm not going to film the entire thing. I will probably let you see it after I'm done with the Super Duty, and I'll wipe it down. Then you can see what it looks like after the heavy cut. I'll wipe it down. Then you can see what it looks like after the perfected EXAC. After I wipe it down. And at that point, I'm going to go home because I'm not going to stay around and wash this and wax it. I'll come back tomorrow and put some polish on there, and maybe I'll show you what that looks like. But in the meantime, we're just compounding. It's a super oxidized boat. If you need any reminders, here's a bunch of sections that I haven't done versus some spots that I've tested with. And this is just compound. It's just a buffer. Nothing special. No magic. All right. So I appreciate you hanging out. When I'm done with this, I will let you know. Cool? Cool. Like YouTube. All right. So I told you that I was going to show you this after I got the Super Duty done. And here's the fun part. Oh my God, Lee, you didn't finish with the Super Duty. No, I didn't. And I'll show you why. This mother decided to blow up on me for no good reason. I was treating her good. You know how I treat my buffers. Literally, this piece came off and damn near smacked me in the face. I have no idea. In almost 20 years of doing this, I've never seen a buffer wheel fall apart like that. Although I will say, maybe it's this boat. I mean, she's destructive to all my pads. Anyway, considering that today is the Saturday before Easter, I'm going to use this as my sign to go ahead and go home. This boat's going to be here tomorrow, and so will I. Because no, I'm not going to do very much on Easter. I'm done with the eggs, and I don't eat candy. So I will probably have a dinner with a neighbor just to try to be neighborly and act like I'm part of society. But I know, I'm not. I'm the outcast. Anyway, let's see. So, Well, this side looks really good. I know you can probably see something right about there. That's just, I haven't wiped it off. So it's, and again, I'm not going for perfection when I'm using Super Duty. All I'm going for is uniformity and a decent reflection. And that gives me enough to work with when it comes time to the heavy cut. Now, yes, I've got more pads, and there's no reason that I should quit and be a big pansy about it. But again, this hasn't happened in 20 years, and I'm just, I don't know. Maybe you guys are like me. I set myself a task for the day, and if something ruins that, to me, the day is just, I'm just as happy letting somebody else decide what I do with my day as opposed to me trying to fix it. I'm going to go home. Thank you. You guys have a great time. I will talk with you tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow and I'll work on this. Again, I've got plenty of pads. There's no reason that I couldn't keep going. It's just, why? It's a beautiful day. Look at this. There's not even contrails in the sky. It's a gorgeous day, and I want to be out in it and maybe go drive around. I don't know. Besides, there's a dog that decided to leave me a little surprise back here, and it's all I can do to smell it every once in a while when the wind blows the right way. It's not cool. Anyway, I'm just giving you some insight into who I am and what I do, and when I get stopped with something. 9 times out of 10, this wouldn't stop me. I would just kind of laugh, send pictures out to a bunch of detailer friends, be like, "Yo, you ever seen this?" But today, no. I'm gonna call it. What I got accomplished today was this little back area. Finished up the green stripe all the way forward. Took from the bow back with Super Duty till about the gas vent. Now at the gas vent, that's where things went all cattywampus and my buffer decided to try to kill me. Another reason, y'all, to go slow. That thing came out doing, I was spinning it. It was going about 3,600 RPM. That thing came off and it was heading right at my face. I'm actually amazed that it didn't hit me, but if it had and it got me in the eye, that could have done some damage. All right, well, I'm done for the day. You guys are done watching me, and I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you want to see what this one looks like when it's done, this side is done. Trying to get the sun in here. That's a little, maybe I can do it from there. Yeah, almost. Ta-da! All right, talk to you guys. Well, later. That's it. Nothing special, but I did want to give you a little update as to what I was doing. So if you like, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Cheers.